Have you ever seen an older man walk into a room and something about him just stopped you? Not because he was the most handsome man there, not because he was wearing something expensive, but because there was something about the way he was put together, deliberate, calm, magnetic, that every other man in the room simply didn't have. You couldn't explain it, but you felt it. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men never figure out. The majority of guys are out here chasing trends, buying whatever's on sale, and showing up in clothes that are either 2 sizes too big or 5 years out of date. They're dressing like they did at 22, and then wondering why they don't get the same response they used to. Meanwhile, the older man who walks in and commands attention? He's not spending more. He's not doing more. He's just figured out something the younger generation hasn't yet. And it's not about fashion at all. Today, I'm going to give you the exact 7 things that mature, confident men wear. Simple, specific, actionable things that trigger something deep and instinctive in the people around them. If you're a man, by the end of this video, you'll know precisely what to add, remove, or change. If you're a woman, you'll finally understand why certain men do something to you that you can't quite articulate. These aren't opinions, these are patterns, and they work every single time. I've spent years studying the intersection of male psychology, physical presentation, and attraction, breaking down what actually moves the needle versus what men think moves the needle. The gap between those two things is enormous, and it's exactly where most men lose. Let's get into it. Number 1. A well-fitted white or navy dress shirt. Not tight, not oversized. Well-fitted. When a shirt follows the shoulder seam exactly, skims the chest without pulling at the buttons, and sits clean at the waist. It communicates something non-verbal and immediate. It says, this man knows his body, he respects himself, he pays attention to detail. White reads as clarity and confidence. Navy reads as depth and reliability. Both are universally powerful. And here's what most men get wrong. A $30 shirt that fits perfectly will always beat a $300 shirt that doesn't. Women don't see the price tag. They see the silhouette. Number 2. A quality watch. This isn't about status. It's not about wearing a Rolex. It's about the simple, quiet statement a watch makes on a man's wrist in a world where everyone just pulls out their phone. A watch says, I am aware of time. I value it. I live with intention. It also draws the eye to the wrist and forearm in a way that is subtle but remarkably effective. It doesn't need to be expensive. A clean, simple leather strap, classic, not oversized, not flashy, is all it takes. Women who notice watches aren't responding to the watch. They're responding to what the watch says about the man wearing it. Number 3. Dark, well-fitted trousers or chinos. The bottom half is where most men completely lose the plot. Saggy jeans, wrinkled chinos, basketball shorts at the wrong occasion. The mature man understands a fundamental rule. What you wear below the waist either completes or destroys everything above it. Dark charcoal, navy, or deep olive trousers, sitting at the waist, clean line down the leg, breaking just right at the shoe. Communicate structure, thought, and self-respect. No logos, no distressing. Just clean, intentional, well-pressed fabric. That combination alone reads loud and clear. This man has his life together. Number 4. Leather shoes or clean minimalist sneakers. Women look at shoes. Every woman reading this knows it's true and it registers before conscious thought even kicks in. The mature man has 2 modes. Mode 1, leather. A well-maintained pair of Oxfords, loafers, or Chelsea boots in brown or black. Not brand new, not beaten up, broken in and cared for. Mode 2, minimalist sneakers. Clean, low profile, simple, white, cream, or gray. Both choices communicate the same message. This man finishes what he starts, he doesn't leave the house half-dressed, and the details matter to him. Polished shoes say more than expensive shoes. Number 5. A simple, well-cut blazer. If there is a single item that transforms how a man is perceived the moment he puts it on, it's a blazer. Not a full suit, not a tuxedo. An unstructured blazer in navy, charcoal, camel, or olive. What it does architecturally to a man's silhouette is remarkable. It broadens the shoulders, visually narrows the waist, and creates a V shape that is, whether we talk about it openly or not, deeply and instinctively attractive. Beyond the physical, a blazer communicates authority and capability. Wear it over a clean t-shirt and well-fitted trousers. Keep everything else simple. The blazer does the work. You just wear it with intention. Number 6. A well-chosen natural scent. This one isn't visible, but it absolutely belongs on this list. Because women will tell you without hesitation that scent is one of the most immediate and powerful attractors there is. It bypasses logic. It goes straight to something primal. The mature man doesn't drown himself in cologne. He applies it intentionally into wrists, neck, just enough that it's discovered rather than announced. The fragrance itself matters enormously. Woody, warm, slightly earthy, sandalwood, cedar, amber. These communicate maturity in a way that fresh, synthetic, or overly sweet scents simply don't. A well-chosen fragrance on a well-dressed man is one of the most memorable combinations in existence. Women remember scents attached to men long after the man has left the room. Choose yours deliberately. Number 7. Clothes that fit his actual body. We've talked about fit throughout this entire video, and we're ending on it because it deserves its own moment. The single most attractive thing an older man can wear, more than any specific item, any brand, any trend, is clothing that fits the body he actually has. Not the body he had at 25. Not the body he's planning to have in 6 months. The body he has right now today. Most men are wearing clothes sized for a different version of themselves. Too big because they're hiding, or too small because they refuse to accept change. The grounded, mature man has made peace with his body. He knows his measurements. He's found a tailor or learned to identify when something doesn't fit. And he returns it. When a man wears clothes that genuinely fit his real, current, lived-in body, the effect is instant. He looks intentional. He looks comfortable with himself. Here's what's remarkable. Every single one of these 7 things costs nothing dramatic. You can implement most of them this week, and the men who quietly upgrade these specific details, consistently report a shift in how they're perceived, treated, and approached. Not because they changed who they are, but because they finally started looking like who they are. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I don't have money for a new wardrobe. You don't need one. You need one shirt that fits, one pair of trousers that sit correctly, one clean pair of shoes, one blazer that works for 3 different occasions. None of this is about quantity, it's about intention. A capsule of 5 perfectly chosen pieces will always outperform a closet full of the wrong ones. This isn't about budget, it's about willingness. The willingness to look in the mirror honestly, figure out what works, and care enough to get it right. If something in this video landed for you, if one of these 7 shifted your perspective, share it right now with one man who needs to hear it. Not tomorrow. Right now, while it's fresh, and drop in the comments. Which of the 7 hit hardest for you? I read every single one. See you in the next one.